For us, hybrid hospitality is when we bring different users and different demographics all into one building, and we're able to move our inventory around as well, depending on either time of year or time of market. So for us, we start with the foundations. We build a 4-star hotel room, and we build hundreds of them. So our buildings are generally 400 rooms large. We have very, very large, extensive common spaces where we also bring into our hybrid hospitality office users. So we bring in co-working. We have extensive meeting and event spaces. And of course, then we need lots of food and drink venues as well to make sure everybody's fed and watered as they go through the space. So for me, hybrid hospitality is really blending different demographics with different spaces and being able to use those spaces depending on market conditions to maximize the occupancy of the building.
Why is hybrid hospitality so powerful today?
Because it works. Where I get sort of emotionally excited about it is bringing just different people together in a building creates, a much more fun environment to be in. It's much safer. So as a student accommodation provider, we are much safer than a regular student block of kids. As a hotel, I don't know the data, to be honest, but I would bet to say that our lobbies are also much more fun and more exciting and more vibrant. But everybody balances each other out, and that's really what we're looking for as human beings. We're looking for an environment that is a reflection on real life, and when you kind of take a step back. And that's what we really had to break down as TSH, as first the student hotel and then as the social hub. These barriers where we've kind of built environments that are quite siloed, and either that's a business hotel or a leisure hotel or a conference hotel or whatever, all these different sort of products, and I get the whole brand level plays into that, and there's a lot of advantages to it. But what we're offering is really breaking down those boundaries, breaking down those barriers, breaking down those silos, using our spaces and our extensive lobbies, not only to bring our guests together, but really to connect to the fabric of the local neighborhood, to invite the locals into our spaces, to invite local businesses to use our spaces. That's where we saw co-working. We've been doing co-working for 10 years now. And co-working is such a good way to connect to the locals, whether that's you or I working for ourselves or for our corporate company, and using the local co-working space as our local networking space, but also really connecting the corporate traveler. We have extensive 4-star hotel rooms, and we're reaching out, of course, to the corporate traveler market, especially in midweek. But when the idea that you come into your hotel room, you go down to your lobby with your laptop. What we're able to offer is a very vibrant lobby that is full of local freelancers, local businesses. The corporations are using our buildings. So you're not just connecting. You're not just sitting in a hopefully a busy lobby, which is not often the case. You don't need to go to the local Starbucks to get that vibrancy. You're getting that vibrancy, but you're also connecting to people who are in the local fabric of the business environment. So for us, it's kind of a win-win-win-win. And when you throw in the students to this co-working community as well, they have access to the next generation of talent. So whether that be soundboarding ideas or getting input on what's hot or what's not, getting access to the next generation of workforce. Finding your next employee is one of the hardest things for many companies. And we have, coming off the mum and dad sort of conveyor belt, the next generation of talent. So it's a very good way for us to really naturally connect businesses with the workforce, next generation workforce, connecting with the corporate hotel market as well, and just kind of mixing it up, having fun, and not taking it too seriously, And it really works. It feels kind of natural, I think.
I hear a lot of hospitality leaders wanting lobbies like you've described, but I feel like few have articulated it as specifically as you have. I think, just to repeat back to you, what I heard is sort of this 3-part benefit of there's convenience. This co-working opportunity provides convenience of I have my laptop, I can do work. There's the vibes of the vibrancy that you touched on, and then the connection to others, right? Whether that's just social connection that we need, or hiring, or finding new colleagues and things like this. So it feels like it's integral to the guest experience. It's not just about vibes, but you're actually delivering real value to your guests, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's certainly the feedback we have. You know, the it's and I guess a hotel, you know, you have a lot of facilities which are almost wasted on just one guest type. You know, you need a 24-hour, 7 days a week reception team. You know, you often need a bar or restaurant that's many times, you know, only focused on the breakfast space. So, you know, for us, you're really utilizing this space much more. And I guess when you open the doors to the locals, then even more magic happens. You know, I have to say that um, for me, the kind of this hybrid hotel manager is coming into the glory moments. You know, they're really sought after, but it's very difficult in the beginning. You know, I don't come from the hotel background, the hospitality world. I didn't go through hotel school. But when we started being a hotel, of course, I needed a lot of hotel professionals to teach me how to be a hotelier. But what I find difficult was there's quite a lot of sort of structure that you learn going through hotel school, and certainly back 15 years ago, that we kind of tried to shake out of people, you know, because the idea that you invite the local neighbors to come into your nice, calm lobby is kind of not what normal old school hotels were wanting to happen. This chaos of a student walking through, going to the laundry in their slippers is like, you know, the last thing that you want in a four-star corporate environment. So we had to spend a lot of time kind of shaking that sort of that way of thinking out of our hotel teams, while meanwhile getting the expertise from them on how to run a professional hotel business. And now it's becoming a little bit easier, of course. You see many hotels that are really trying to get into co-working and get the locals into their lobbies, etc. And that takes a different type of mentality from the hotel manager. So the ones that can do it are really being sought after in the market, which is quite nice to see that it's becoming popular.
Do you feel like there's something powerful about hybrid hospitality from a business model perspective?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you know, it does add a level of complexation, complexion that I'm not going to deny. You know, it's not you're not a cookie cutter for by any way stretch of the imagination. You know, if you just look at your PMS, you know, a general PMS, you know, back in the day had a calendar of like 100 days. You know, that doesn't work when you're offering a room for a year. You know, we're now not looking just for a room. The PMSs of the past were most of them today are still focused on just that room history. You know, I want to know your history, and it doesn't really matter if you want a desk, a meeting room, or a bedroom. You know, so how do I find that? So, you know, it took us 4 different systems before we now work with Muse. Which is, you know, we joke, the founder and I joke that, you know, or he says to me, if we didn't exist, they would need to create us because their whole PMS is designed for us. So, but that took a number of years. So that's a level of complexity for sure. When you look at the robustness, I mean, COVID is a great example. We lost, you know, 6% of our revenue overnight, the same as every other hotel. We stayed open all through COVID. We stayed EBITDA positive all through COVID. You know, at the hotel level, we were managing to change our inventory or the guests, you know, so to offer instead of hotel where there was no hotel guests, we moved our guests to students, and we had access to kitchens and you know, is so that you're able to move your inventory around. And we basically do that twice a year. You know, we have the academic year, which starts in September. So after the summer, fantastic. We say how many rooms do we want to release to the 4-star market, and how many rooms do we want for extended stay, like co-living, or how many rooms do we want for students? And then, you know, that goes through to the second semester, which is January, February as well. So again, we can change our shift. So if there's a dip in the hotel market, we can allocate more rooms to students and make sure that our occupancy is there. And we're able then, as a hotel, you're effectively reducing or increasing the size of your hotel exposure depending on market conditions on a twice a year basis, which gives you a lot of security and a lot of flexibility as well. And it doesn't change your core offering, doesn't change your the fundamental guest offering as well. So it's a very robust business to be in.